Good afternoon. I'm Spot On Weather Meteorologist Matthew Euler, and today we're going to take a look at the long range forecast. All right, so let's start off with the forecast valid Monday, 19 December. What do we have going on? We do have a cold front that is generally situated to the northwest of our area. We expect that cold front to push through the area. There's a little bit of mix of rain and snow inland, possibly on Monday morning, but mostly rain here along the Southeast Virginia coast at that time. But this moisture will eventually push out to sea. This cold front will sag southward, and we have 1,044, a very strong Arctic high pressure system again over the Midwestern United States. That is going to be nudging its way in. Now, with this next cold shot on the 19th on Monday, we're not expecting the same extreme type of cold that we're getting today and tomorrow, Thursday and Friday with the Arctic cold shot, or even last week's Thursday, Friday Arctic shot. This still will be plenty cold though. When you have a 1,044 millibar high, that's a fairly dense Arctic high pressure system. So it'll be interesting to see what we're expecting right now. Our high temperature is about 41 degrees on Monday, just to let everybody know. Looking at the jet stream, the main jet axis, we got another strong jet maximum rotating through the pattern over approaching the Pacific Northwest. A deep trough off of Southern California, oriented in a more northeast to southwest positive orientation, positively tilted trough. And then the jet axis picks up again right into Pennsylvania, into Massachusetts, and on up into the Canadian Maritimes is where the strongest wind speeds are going to be. The main jet axis is just in our vicinity here in Southeast Virginia. Moving ahead to Tuesday, 20 December, what we have going on is the high pressure system that was over the Midwest, the 1044 high, has weakened slightly, moved over to West Virginia on Tuesday, weakened to a 1039 millibar high. The clockwise flow around that will bring in some northeast winds. We'll keep things fairly chilly here in the low 40s again in Southeast Virginia. Notice the tail end of the front. There is some moisture still situated down further south of our area along the coastal areas of North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. The orientation of the polar front jet, it looks to me like this is cutting off on Tuesday, so it'll remain well south of the main polar front jet axis. We're going to be basically, the jet stream again will be in the vicinity of Southeast Virginia on Tuesday. Not really a big change. Most of the coldest air is going to remain farther up north, the very cold Arctic air during this time period. And then next Wednesday, forecast valid 21 December, what we're looking at is a 1034 millibar high, influencing our weather next Wednesday. Dry conditions, some remnant moisture with that frontal boundary still offshore out over the Gulf Stream. The jet stream has changed slightly. If we go back, you see how the jet stream has changed a little bit. We have more of a west-east zonal flow at this point in time with the jet stream. Most of the jet energy remains over the Great Lakes and New York State into New England. So the upper level low remains south of SoCal into Mexico at this point in time. And then forecast valid Thursday, 22 December. The area of high pressure weakens a little bit, moves to the northeast over New Jersey. We still have more of a northeasterly wind flow off the water. At this point in time, we expect temperatures to remain for highs in the 40s on Thursday. But there will start, once this high moves off to the east, we will start to see a turnaround in the wind direction to more of a milder weather pattern. The jet stream axis at 300 millibars or 30,000 feet. We're getting more of a ridge now trying to develop over the southeastern United States at this point in time. So, we'll have to keep an eye on the amplitude of this southeast ridge trying to pump up the eastern seaboard at that time. And then we take a look at the forecast valid Friday, 23 December. So this is a couple days before Christmas. We do have an area, 1,001 millibar low over the Canadian Maritime provinces. And you have a cold front that extends from Maine through New Jersey, Maryland, West Virginia, down into Kentucky and Tennessee. There is an area of lower pressure trying to develop at this time over central Alabama. At this time, Southeast Virginia is dry next Friday. But you notice how the high on the previous slide has shifted offshore. So now we're getting more of a southwesterly wind flow into the area on the 23rd, next Friday. There's a 1,028 millibar high back over Iowa trying to push its way down southeastward and pushing this front through. The real thing we got to think about, though, is the jet axis is pretty much running from southwest to northeast to our west. And then this southeast ridge again is trying to develop itself at this point in time. With the upper level winds blowing parallel to any surface front, it's going to be very difficult for this cold front to really move very quickly to the southeast through Southeast Virginia. So the orientation of the jet axis more parallel with the surface cold front. That's going to equal a slow moving front overall. And then as far as travel plans for you folks out there, we're looking at Christmas Eve now. In Southeast Virginia, the front was trying to push through here at that point in time to try to cool things down. We have a 1036 millibar high up over New England area, and then the clockwise flow around it brings more of a northeastern flow, a northeastward wind flow behind the cold front. We do have an area, 1,005 millibar low, trying to develop over the southern plains. If you're traveling towards Texas, West Tennessee, Texas, southern Missouri, Arkansas, that's where you're going to run into some rainfall if you're driving on Christmas Eve, the way things look right now. And then there's another system moving into the Pacific Northwest. So overall, on the main jet axis, the polar front jet, we have a big trough here in the Intermountain West, and then a ridge trying to build up over the southeastern United States. The jet axis remaining well to the north of Southeast Virginia on Christmas Eve. At least that's the way it looks right now, but things can definitely change between now and then. And then the forecast for Christmas 2016. Right now for Southeast Virginia, it looks like it'll be mostly cloudy with some widely scattered rain showers. And we will have some southerly wind flows. Basically, if you look at this, the 1,005 millibar low back here in eastern New Mexico on Christmas Eve will eject and deepen as it moves towards the midwestern states to Wisconsin. It deepens to a 998 millibar low over Wisconsin at this time. And this is one good white Christmas type scenario. If you really like snow, that's where you need to be on Christmas Day. Upper Peninsula of Michigan, northern Wisconsin, basically southeastern Minnesota into Iowa. And then we have a swath of rain along the next cold front, which is extending from Michigan. Lower Michigan looking wet on Christmas. Chicago wet, Memphis wet, all the way down towards New Orleans. Okay, so we're in Southeast Virginia at this time. We're in southerly wind flow. So we're going to have a very mild Christmas. Most likely we'll see temperatures between 55 and 60 degrees, the way things look right now. So unfortunately, I did that white Christmas climatology a couple days ago, and we're falling in line with the typical pattern we see in December, Christmas time in Southeast Virginia, where we generally do not have a white Christmas, unfortunately. And this year looks no different. It looks mild. Looks like we have some south-southwest winds blowing in the area out ahead of this next cold front. Now look at the jet stream and how it's changed, though, between the Christmas Eve jet and now the Christmas Day jet. The overall long wave trough is going to propagate eastward closer towards the central U.S. So this is where you're going to see the coldest air is going to be dumping in right at this location at that time. Again, the southeast ridge is trying to pump in from the southeast towards the northwest, trying to raise our upper level heights, raise our thickness values, which yields milder temperatures. So the long-range final thoughts, what I like to go over here is some long-range final thoughts. We're expecting another shot of cold air. It's going to move into southeastern Virginia after this weekend's warmth. All right, we're in the Arctic freeze right now on Thursday, and we'll be in another Arctic freeze on Friday. Then we get amazing, just an incredible rebound in temperatures for Saturday and Sunday for Southeast Virginia. As a warm front moves through Saturday, the winds really pick up from the south-southwest. Strong warm air advection takes place, and we're into the 60s, mid to upper 60s possibly on Sunday. And then the next front moves through Sunday afternoon, early evening. Our temperatures will crash colder 19 and 20 in December. That's next Monday, Tuesday. We will have periods of rain showers, but nothing too heavy. It currently appears too warm for any frozen precipitation. But there could be a mixture of rain and snow farther inland as the cold air filters in. If we have the precipitation sticking around long enough, we could get some mixing of rain and snow, especially towards I-95, Richmond area, possibly Wakefield, further inland from Southeast Virginia and away from Hampton Roads. It looks like plain rain for us. A milder long-term pattern is in store beginning 21 December. That's next Wednesday, with occasional colder shots of air, but nothing like we've seen. Nothing too extreme. The milder pattern will last the next couple of weeks. Basically, the next couple of weeks of December is going to be very, very mild. There are a couple possibilities of coastal lows developing 27 and 31 December. We would need colder air in place to see snow, honestly, at this point in time. It's just too warm for any kind of frozen precip. The southeastern ridge versus the polar front jet. This is going to be a battle to watch. It's something to keep a close eye on over the next couple of weeks. As I was just showing you on the charts, it looks to me like the southeastern ridge is trying to stiff arm the polar front jet and not allow it to penetrate as far south as it has been. Up to this point, the southeast ridge has been squashed and we've been very cold. And then sea surface temperatures are falling quickly with the Arctic air we have seen so far. We're on Arctic outbreak number 2. We'll have another cool down on Monday, Tuesday, 19 and 20 December. And what this has done is has mixed the waters and has really cooled the waters. Sea surface temperatures are currently running at 48 degrees, and they're projected to fall to 44 degrees by Monday. So this is going to play a significant role in winter storm possibilities later on in the winter, especially in January and February for Southeast Virginia. The colder the sea surface temperatures, the greater the likelihood that we're going to see some type of frozen precipitation later on in the winter. So if you're a snow lover, just hang in there. We're looking at a milder pattern the next couple of weeks after the 19th and 20th of December, that cold shot. But make sure you stay tuned to Spot On Weather. We'll keep you updated. Also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Subscribe to us on the YouTube channel to get the latest, most accurate, highly dependable weather forecast for Southeast Virginia. All right, that's it for now. Stay warm out there. It's very cold. Temperatures are dropping. We're about 36 degrees and falling. Tomorrow morning's wind chills will be very, very cold. Single digits, in fact, until about 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. All right, so we're Spot On Weather. And I just want to say that if we're not spot on, we're not doing it right. Have a great afternoon, folks.